Whispers in the void. The vastness of space stretched endlessly before the sleek, organic curves of the Nilarian vessel. Its iridescent hull pulsed with a soft, bioluminescent glow, a stark contrast to the inky darkness surrounding it. Within the ship's living chambers, Zara tenderly stroked her daughter Lyra's shimmering, tentacle-like hair, soothing the young alien's fears as alarms blared throughout the vessel. "Mother, what's happening?" Lyra's large, opalescent eyes blinked rapidly, her normally blue skin flushing a deep indigo with anxiety. Zara's own cerulean skin rippled with concern, but she kept her voice steady. "It seems we've encountered some disturbance in the quantum fold, little one, but don't worry, our ship is strong." As if to contradict her words, the vessel shuddered violently. Zara wrapped her forearms protectively around Lyra, her mind racing. They were supposed to be on a routine diplomatic mission to the outer reaches of the Andromeda Galaxy. How had they ended up so far off course? The ship's neural interface hummed to life in Zara's mind. "Warning, critical systems failure. Imminent dimensional shift detected." Zara's heart raced. A dimensional shift could fling them anywhere in the multiverse. "Plot an emergency course to the nearest habitable world," she commanded. The ship's consciousness acknowledged, but Zara could sense its fading strength. They were going to crash, and there was nothing she could do about it. As the vessel plummeted through layers of reality, Zara held Lyra close. "Remember who you are, my darling," she whispered. "No matter where we land, no matter what strange beings we encounter, you are Lyra of the Nilarian people. We are explorers, diplomats, and above all, survivors." The ship breached the atmosphere of an unknown planet, its hull screaming in protest as it superheated. Through the viewscreen, Zara caught glimpses of blue oceans, green land masses, and wispy white clouds. It looked almost like their homeworld, but that was impossible. They were countless light years from Nelaris. With a bone-jarring impact, the ship plowed into a field of tall golden plants. Zara and Lyra were thrown against the chamber's biogal walls, which thankfully absorbed most of the shock. As the vessel finally skidded to a halt, an eerie silence fell. Are we dead?" Lyra asked, her voice small and trembling. Zara managed a weak laugh. "No, my brave one, we're very much alive." She disentangled herself from Lyra and ran a quick diagnostic through her neural link. The ship was badly damaged, but its life support systems were still functioning. "Come, we must assess our situation." Together, they made their way to the ship's main portal. The door's iris mechanism was jammed, forcing Zara to manually crank it open. As the aperture widened, they got their first real look at the alien world they had crashed upon. The golden field they had landed in stretched as far as the eye could see, gently undulating in a warm breeze. In the distance, a cluster of angular structures rose against the horizon, completely unlike the organic architecture of Nilarian cities. The sky above was a brilliant blue, dotted with puffy white clouds, and a single yellow sun hung high overhead. "It's beautiful," Lyra breathed, her fear momentarily forgotten in the face of this new wonder. Zara nodded, but her mind was racing with calculations and contingencies. The atmosphere seemed breathable, but they would need to run tests to be sure. The indigenous life forms, if there were any, could be hostile, and their ship, their only link to their home and people, lay in ruins behind them. As if reading her thoughts, Lyra asked, "What do we do now, Mother?" Zara squared her shoulders, her diplomat's training kicking in. "Now, my dear, we do what Nilarians have always done when faced with the unknown. We observe, we learn, and we seek to understand." But before they could take another step, a low rumbling sound caught their attention. Over a nearby hill, a strange metal contraption appeared, kicking up dust as it approached. Atop it sat a creature Zara had never seen before, bipedal, with pinkish skin and a tuft of golden fur atop its head. The creature brought its vehicle to a stop a short distance away, its mouth hanging open in what Zara hoped was surprise rather than aggression. For a long moment, neither party moved. Then, to Zara's astonishment, the creature raised one of its upper appendages in what seemed to be a gesture of greeting. It opened its mouth and produced a series of sounds. "Well, I'll be damned. Looks like we've got ourselves some bona fide space visitors." Zara didn't understand the words, but the tone seemed more curious than hostile. She gently pushed Lyra behind her and raised her own hand in mimicry of the creature's gesture. "Greetings," she said in Nilarian, knowing the creature wouldn't understand, but hoping her peaceful intentions would be clear. "We come in peace and seek refuge." The creature climbed down from its vehicle, moving slowly as if trying not to startle them. It was shorter than Zara, but taller than Lyra, with only 2 arms and 2 legs. Its face was flat, with a protrusion in the center that Zara guessed might be a sensory organ. "Name's John," the creature said, pointing to itself. "John Parker. And you folks look like you could use a hand." Zara blinked her large eyes, struggling to process this turn of events. They had crashed on an unknown world, potentially galaxies away from home, and yet here was this strange being, offering assistance with no hesitation. Lyra peeked out from behind Zara, her natural curiosity overcoming her fear. "Mother," she whispered, "I think it's trying to be friendly." Zara nodded slowly. "I believe you're right, my dear." She took a cautious step forward, her translator implant working furiously to decipher the creature's, John's, language. "We are grateful for your offer of assistance," Zara said, her words coming out halting and accented as the translator struggled with the alien tongue. "I am Zara, and this is my daughter, Lyra. We are not from your world." John's eyes widened, and he let out a sound that Zara's translator interpreted as laughter. "Well, that's the understatement of the century. But don't you worry, ladies. Old John Parker's seen some strange things in his day, and I've got a policy. Any folks in need are welcome at the Parker farm, whether they're from the next county over or the next galaxy." As John spoke, Zara felt a weight lifting from her shoulders. They were stranded, yes, but perhaps not alone. This creature, this human, was offering them sanctuary without a second thought. "Come on," John said, gesturing to his vehicle. "Let's get you 2 out of this field before someone else comes along. I've got a barn where you can hide out until we figure out what to do next." Zara hesitated for a moment, her diplomatic training warring with their desperate situation. But one look at Lyra's exhausted face made the decision for her. They needed help, and for now, this human seemed to be their best hope. "We accept your generous offer, John Parker," Zara said, bowing slightly. "May our people's paths be forever intertwined by this act of kindness." As they climbed onto John's strange vehicle, a tractor, he called it, Zara couldn't help but marvel at the twist of fate that had brought them here. They had come seeking new worlds and new civilizations, and they had certainly found one. What other wonders and challenges awaited them on this strange planet called Earth? With a sputtering roar, the tractor lurched into motion, carrying them towards an uncertain future. But as Zara held Lyra close, feeling the warmth of the alien sun on her skin and breathing in the unfamiliar sense of this new world, she felt something she hadn't expected: hope. Their journey was just beginning, and who knew what marvels lay ahead? One thing was certain: the universe had just gotten a whole lot more interesting for both the Nilarians and the humans of Earth. Echoes of humanity. As the old tractor rumbled down a dusty country road, Zara and Lyra clung to each other, their bioluminescent skin flickering with a mix of fear and excitement. John Parker, their unexpected human savior, hunched over the steering wheel, occasionally glancing back at his alien passengers with a mixture of wonder and concern. "Quantum whispers," Lyra suddenly chirped, her translator finally catching up to a phrase John had muttered earlier. John's eyebrows shot up. "Come again, little lady." Zara, her own translator improving by the minute, explained, "Our ship, it uses quantum entanglement for communication. When it malfunctioned, it created what we call whispers, echoes across dimensions. That's how we ended up here." John whistled low. "Well, I'll be." quantum entangle whatsits and dimension hoppin'. And here I thought I was having an exciting day when my prize rooster laid an egg. Lyra's eyes widened. Your avians changed gender. Fascinating. John chuckled. No, that's just, never mind. We'll have plenty of time for biology lessons later. As they approached a cluster of buildings that John called his farm, Zara noticed strange metal towers in the distance, blinking with red lights. What are those structures? She asked, pointing with one of her forearms. John's face grew serious. Cell towers. They're for communication, but they might be a problem for you folks. If anyone picked up your crash on their instruments, they'll be looking for you. Zora's skin rippled with concern. Are your people hostile to off-worlders? Not hostile, exactly, John said, pulling the tractor into a large wooden structure he called a barn. But let's just say some folks might be a bit too curious for comfort. Best we keep you hidden for now. As they disembarked, a new voice called out, Joan, is that you? What in heaven's name is going on? A human female emerged from the nearby house, her eyes growing wide as saucers as she took in the sight of Zara and Lyra. Martha, honey, John said, his voice calm but firm. Remember how you always said I watched too many sci-fi movies? Well, seems the universe has a sense of humor. Martha Parker stood frozen for a moment, then to everyone's surprise, burst out laughing. Oh, John, she said, wiping tears from her eyes. Only you could go out to check on a meteor and come back with actual aliens. Her laughter seemed to break the tension. Lyra, always quick to adapt, stepped forward and offered a traditional Nilarian greeting, her tendrils forming intricate patterns in the air. Oh my, Martha breathed. Aren't you just the prettiest thing? Come inside, all of you. I have a feeling this is going to be quite the story. As they settled into the Parkers' cozy kitchen, the humans and aliens began to share their tales. Zara explained their diplomatic mission gone awry, while John and Martha spoke of life on their farm and the wider human world. So, you're saying humans haven't achieved faster-than-light travel yet? Lyra asked, sipping cautiously at a glass of water. Honey, most humans still think aliens are just things in movies, Martha said kindly. Which is why we need to figure out how to keep you safe. Just then, a device on the kitchen counter crackled to life. Attention all units, a stern voice announced. We have reports of unusual activity in the Parker farm area. All available personnel, please investigate. John's face paled. That's the police scanner. Looks like someone noticed your arrival after all. Zara stood, her diplomat's mind racing. We cannot put you in danger. Perhaps it would be best if we surrendered ourselves. Now hold on just a minute, John said, his voice filled with a determination that surprised even Martha. My granddaddy didn't fight in the war so I could turn away folks in need, no matter what planet they're from. Martha nodded, her initial shock giving way to resolve. John's right. You're our guests now, and on Earth that means something. Lyra's tendrils waved excitedly. But how will you hide us? Our biology is rather distinct. A mischievous grin spread across John's face. Oh, I've got an idea. Martha, dig out those old Halloween costumes. And Zara, how do you feel about becoming the star attraction at the county fair? As sirens wailed in the distance, the unlikely group huddled together, plotting a daring plan that would not only save Zara and Lyra, but potentially change the course of human-alien relations forever. Little did they know, high above the Earth's atmosphere, another Nilarian ship had picked up the quantum whispers of Zara's crash. The rescue mission was already underway, but what they would find on this strange, beautiful and complex world called Earth was anybody's guess. As night fell over the Parker farm, the stars seemed to twinkle with newfound significance. Somewhere out there, two worlds were about to collide in ways no one could have predicted, and at the center of it all, a simple farmer and his wife were about to become the most important diplomats in Earth's history. The adventure was just beginning, and the echoes of this unlikely encounter would resonate across the cosmos for generations to come. Cosmic Carnival. The county fairgrounds buzzed with excitement, a kaleidoscope of lights, sounds, and smells that overwhelmed Zara and Lyra's sensitive Nalarian senses. John Parker, dressed in a ringmaster's outfit, complete with a top hat and red coat, stood before a garishly painted wagon, barking to the gathering crowd. "Step right up, ladies and gentlemen. Prepare to be amazed by the Parker Farm's latest attraction, the Cosmic Carnival." Inside the wagon, Zara and Lyra nervously adjusted their elaborate costumes. Martha had outdone herself, combining Halloween outfits, craft supplies, and a touch of theatrical magic to transform the aliens into what humans might imagine extraterrestrials to look like. "Remember," Martha whispered, applying the final touches of glitter to Lyra's tendrils, "you're not hiding. You're hiding in plain sight." As the crowd's murmurs grew louder, John dramatically flung open the wagon door. "Behold, visitors from beyond the stars." Zara and Lyra stepped out, their natural bioluminescence enhanced by strings of LED lights woven into their costumes. The crowd gasped, then erupted in cheers and applause. "Greetings, Earthlings," Zara intoned, trying to mimic the alien speech from the Earth movies John had shown them. "We come in peace, and to judge your pie-eating contests." The audience roared with laughter, completely oblivious to the fact that real aliens stood before them. As the night wore on, Zara and Lyra performed a series of alien acts, levitating objects, thanks to hidden magnetic devices, reading minds, with clever cold-reading techniques Martha had taught them, and even staging a mock battle with Earth's mightiest hero, a local bodybuilder in a cape, but amidst the frivolity, danger lurked. Sharp-eyed government agents, drawn by reports of the meteor crash, prowled the fairgrounds. Agent Sarah Chen, lead investigator, watched the Cosmic Carnival act with growing suspicion. "There's something off about those costumes, Jenkins," she muttered to her partner. "The movement's too fluid to alien." As Chen moved closer to the stage, Lyra spotted her, recognizing the stern expression from John's warnings. In a moment of panic, the young Nalarian's controls slipped, and her skin rippled with a wave of bioluminescence that no Earth technology could replicate. Agent Chen's eyes widened. "My God," she breathed. "They're real." In that instant, the delicate balance tipped. Chen reached for her concealed weapon, but before she could act, an unexpected ally emerged from the crowd. "Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle," boomed a voice, "if it ain't my old college roommate, Sarah Chen." The speaker was Dr. Evelyn Rodriguez, a renowned astrophysicist who happened to be judging the fair's science competition. She threw an arm around the startled agent's shoulders. "Sarah, you silly dog. Don't tell me the government's finally taking my research seriously. Come on, let me buy you a corn dog and we'll catch up." As Rodriguez deftly steered Chen away, she shot a wink at John. The old farmer breathed a sigh of relief, realizing they had a new and potentially game-changing ally. Later that night, as the fair wound down, John, Martha, Zara, Lyra, and Dr. Rodriguez gathered in the relative privacy of the Cosmic Carnival wagon. "So," Rodriguez said, her eyes sparkling with excitement, "real aliens, huh? I knew it. The quantum fluctuations I detected last week weren't just instrument errors." Zara, relieved to be among friends, let her natural form shine through. "Dr. Rodriguez, your intervention was most timely. We owe you a great debt." Rodriguez waved a hand. "Please call me Evelyn, and no debt necessary. This is the discovery of a lifetime, but we need to move fast. Sarah's no fool. She'll be back with reinforcements." John nodded grimly. "So what's the plan, Doc?" Evelyn's grin turned mischievous. "Oh, I've got a crazy idea. How do you all feel about a little road trip? I know a place where we can not only hive our new friends, but potentially make contact with their people." As Evelyn outlined her audacious plan, involving a cross-country journey to a secret radio telescope array, Lyra's tendrils quivered with excitement. "Mother," she whispered to Zara, I think I understand now why humans have achieved so much despite their technological limitations. Their capacity for improvisation is remarkable. Zara nodded, a newfound respect for their human allies filling her hearts. Indeed, little one. Perhaps we have as much to learn from them as they do from us. As the group finalized their plans, a shooting star streaked across the sky, though only Zara and Lyra recognized it for what it truly was, an Illyrian scout ship entering Earth's atmosphere. The cosmic dance was accelerating, drawing humans and aliens alike into its dizzying rhythm. With government agents closing in, a daring escape to plan, and the promise of interstellar contact on the horizon, the unlikely team of farmers, scientists, and extraterrestrials stood on the precipice of changing the course of human history. Little did they know, their adventure was about to take an even more extraordinary turn, one that would challenge everything they thought they knew about the universe and their place in it. As the cosmic carnival's lights dimmed and the last echoes of laughter faded into the night, the stars seemed to pulse with anticipation. The next act in this grand cosmic performance was about to begin, and Earth would never be the same. Quantum road trip. The beat-up RV rumbled down Route 66, its exterior plastered with gaudy advertisements for the cosmic carnival. Next stop, Area 52. Inside, an unlikely band of fugitives huddled around a makeshift command center cobbled together from CB radios, laptops, and Nilarian tech salvaged from Zara and Lyra's crashed ship. Quantum GPS recalibrated, Lyra chirped, her tendrils dancing over a shimmering holographic display. We're officially off the grid, Dr. Rodriguez. Evelyn grinned, her fingers flying over her keyboard. Call me the techno-wizard, kiddo. I've got us bouncing our signal through so many satellites, the NSA will think we're broadcasting from the moon. John Parker, looking comically out of place in his Hawaiian shirt and trucker cap disguise, peered out the window. Hate to break up the nerd party, but we've got company. Black SUVs, 3 o'clock. Martha, who had taken to their fugitive lifestyle with surprising gusto, cackled as she gunned the engine. Hold on to your tentacles, folks. Mom was about to show these government types how we do things down on the farm. What followed was a chase scene that would have made Hollywood jealous. Martha weaved the RV through traffic like a stock car racer, while Zara used her diplomatic skills to sweet-talk their way through a police roadblock. Lyra and Evelyn tag-teamed a makeshift EMP device that sent the pursuing vehicles sputtering to a halt. As they finally lost their tail, the group breathed a collective sigh of relief, but their jubilation was short-lived. Folks, John's voice was tight. You might want to see this. On every screen in the RV, phones, laptops, even a little TV in the kitchenette, the same breaking news alert flashed. Alien invasion. Mysterious lights spotted over major cities worldwide. Zara's heart sank. The rescue fleet, they're here. The images on screen showed massive Nilarian ships hovering over New York, London, Beijing, and a dozen other metropolises. Panic was spreading like wildfire. Well, shit, Evelyn eloquently summed up the situation. So much for keeping a low profile. But Lyra, ever the optimist, saw an opportunity. Mother, don't you see? This is our chance. If we can reach the fleet, we can prevent a catastrophe. John nodded. The kid's right. But how do we contact them without every alphabet agency on Earth coming down on us? Martha, who had been unusually quiet, spoke up. What about that there quantum doohickey you all keep gabbing about? Can't you use that to phone home? A light bulb seemed to go off over Zara's head. Martha, you're a genius. Lyra, ready the quantum entanglement array. Dr. Rodriguez, I'll need your help to boost the signal. As the adults scrambled to action, Lyra retreated to a corner of the RV, her young mind overwhelmed by the magnitude of their situation. John, noticing her distress, sat down beside her. Penny for your thoughts, squirt? He asked gently. Lyra's tendrils drooped. John, what if we're making things worse? What if our presence here leads to war between our peoples? John chuckled, patting her shoulder with a weathered hand. Now you listen here, kiddo. In all my years, I've learned one thing. Ain't no problem so big that good folks working together can't solve it. Your mama's the finest diplomat this side of the Milky Way, and us humans. Well, we're too darn stubborn to let a little thing like an alien first contact go south. Lyra's bioluminescence brightened with renewed hope. You really think we can do this? I know we can, John winked. Now, how about you show this old farmer how that fancy light show of yours works? As Lyra eagerly began explaining the Larian bioluminescent communication, the RV suddenly lurched to a stop. Ladies and gents, Martha called from the driver's seat. I hate to interrupt, but we've got ourselves a situation. The group crowded around the windshield, jaws dropping at the sight before them. There, in the middle of the desert, stood a massive, shimmering portal, a quantum rift torn in the very fabric of spacetime. And stepping through it, resplendent in diplomatic regalia, was a delegation of Nalarian officials led by none other than Zara's long-lost bondmate and Lyra's other parent, Ambassador Zorn. Well, Evelyn breathed, a grin spreading across her face. Looks like the cavalry's here, and they brought the whole dang space army with them. As human military helicopters appeared on the horizon and Nalarian ships descended from the sky, the ragtag group in the RV realized they were about to become the linchpin in the most important first contact scenario in Earth's history. Zara squared her shoulders, every inch the diplomat despite her weeks on the run. Well, my friends, it seems the universe has a flair for the dramatic. Shall we go make history? Zara squared her shoulders, every inch the diplomat despite her weeks on the run. Well, my friends, it seems the universe has a flair for the dramatic. Shall we go make history? With a chorus of determined nods, the unlikely heroes stepped out of their battered RV and into the blinding desert sun, ready to bridge the gap between two worlds and change the course of cosmic history forever. Little did they know, the true test of their newfound alliance was yet to come, as forces beyond their imagination prepared to crash this interstellar party. Cosmic convergence. The Nevada desert shimmered with an otherworldly glow as Nalarian ships hovered alongside human military aircraft, creating a surreal tableau of cosmic proportions. At the center of this unprecedented gathering stood our unlikely heroes, Zara, Lyra, John, Martha, and Dr. Evelyn Rodriguez, forming a living bridge between two worlds. Ambassador Zorn, resplendent in flowing robes that seemed to capture starlight, stepped forward. Zara, my heart bond, and Lyra, my little Nova, you're safe. The reunion was a dazzling display of Nalarian emotion, tendrils intertwining in a dance of light and color that brought tears to even the hardened human soldier's eyes. But the touching moment was short-lived. General Harding of the U.S. Army strode forward, his face a mask of barely contained anxiety. I hate to break up the family reunion, but we've got a situation here. The president is demanding answers, and half the world's governments are on the brink of launching nukes at your ships. Zara, ever the diplomat, smoothly inserted herself between the two groups. General, I assure you, the Nalarian Federation comes in peace. Our presence here is purely... She was cut off by a deafening boom that shook the earth. The quantum rift that had brought the Nalarian delegation suddenly flared, expanding to titanic proportions. Through it emerged a nightmarish sight, a massive, writhing biomechanical construct that defied description. By the cosmic core, Zorn gasped, it's the Void Hive. Dr. Rodriguez's eyes widened in recognition. The quantum whispers, they didn't just bring you here. They attracted that. The Void Hive, a semi-sentient cosmic parasite that fed on quantum energy, had followed the trail of Zara and Lyra's dimensional jump. Now it loomed over Earth, its countless tendrils already beginning to siphon energy from the planet's core. Chaos erupted. Human military forces, panicking at this new threat, began firing at both the Void Hive and the Nalarian ships. The Nalarians, their advanced shields easily deflecting the primitive weapons, tried desperately to focus their efforts on containing the Void Hive. In the midst of the mayhem, Lyra's voice cut through the din. Stop. Her shout, amplified by a burst of bioluminescent energy, froze everyone in their tracks. Don't you see? This is exactly what the Void Hive wants. Chaos, fear, division. We can't fight it alone, but together. John stepped up, placing a supportive hand on Lyra's shoulder. The kid's right. I've seen what happens when folks come together to face a common threat. Hell, we turned our farm into a shelter during the big tornado of '95. Saved the whole dang county. Martha nodded vigorously. Ain't no difference between a twister and a space monster when it comes down to it. We're all in this together. Dr. Rodriguez, her scientific mind racing, chimed in. If we could combine Nalarian quantum technology with our particle accelerators, we might be able to create a resonance cascade that could disrupt the Void Hive's energy absorption. General Harding, looking from the determined faces of the civilians to the awe-inspiring sight of the Nalarian ships, made a decision that would go down in history. All right, let's do this. I'll convince the president. Ambassador Zorn, can your people hold off that thing while we prepare? Zorn nodded solemnly. We will do what we can, but time is of the essence. What followed was a montage of cooperation that would have made any sci-fi blockbuster proud. Nalarian scientists worked alongside human physicists, calibrating massive arrays of quantum disruptors. Fighter pilots from a dozen nations flew in formation with Nalarian scout ships, running interference against the Void Hive's probing tendrils. And at the heart of it all, our original team worked tirelessly to coordinate the efforts. Zara's diplomatic skills proved invaluable in smoothing over cultural misunderstandings. Lyra's unique perspective as a child of two worlds inspired innovative solutions. John and Martha's down-to-earth wisdom kept everyone grounded in the face of cosmic horrors. As the final preparations were made, Dr. Rodriguez turned to her newfound family with a grim smile. You know, in every calculation, every simulation, there's one constant. The quantum resonance device needs to be delivered directly into the Void Hive's core. It's a one-way trip. A heavy silence fell over the group. Then, to everyone's surprise, it was Martha who spoke up. Well then, fire up that old RV of ours. John and I have been talking about taking one last big road trip. Might as well make it one for the history books. Protests erupted. The old couple stood firm. John tipped his hat with a wry smile. Now don't you all fret. We've lived a good long life, full of love and adventure. And what could be more adventurous than saving the whole dang planet? As preparations for the final assault came together, a sense of bittersweet determination settled over the group. Humans and Nalarians alike watched in awe as the battered RV, now outfitted with makeshift quantum shields and enough explosives to level a small city, revved its engine. John and Martha, looking for all the world like they were just headed out for a Sunday drive, waved from the driver's seat. See you all on the other side, John called out. And Lyra, honey, don't you ever stop asking questions. Curiosity's what makes the universe go round. With a final roar of its engine, the RV launched towards the Void Hive, escorted by a formation of human and Nalarian ships. As it disappeared into the writhing mass of the cosmic parasite, a blinding flash lit up the sky. For a moment, the world held its breath. Then, with a silent implosion of light, the Void Hive collapsed in on itself, leaving behind nothing but a shower of harmless quantum particles. The cheer that went up from the assembled forces of two worlds was deafening. Humans and Nalarians embraced, their differences forgotten in the face of shared triumph and loss. As the dust settled and the long process of building a new interstellar society began, Zara, Lyra, and Dr. Rodriguez stood hand in hand and tendril, gazing up at the stars. You know, Evelyn mused, I always dreamed of making first contact. Never imagined it involved quantum physics, cosmic horrors, and the bravest couple of farmers in the galaxy. Zara nodded, her bioluminescence pulsing with emotion. John and Martha Parker. Their names will be honored in the great halls of Nelaris for generations to come. Lyra, her young face wise beyond her years, smiled. They're not gone, not really. Their story, their bravery, it's become part of something bigger. A bridge between our worlds. As if in response to her words, a shooting star streaked across the sky. And for a moment, just a moment, it looked exactly like an old RV carrying two brave souls on the greatest adventure of all. The universe, it seemed, had a flair for poetry after all.